Okay. Yep, all these videos are at least an hour 30 minutes, so we may as well just watch one.
It's April 21st, 2019. Competitors and spectators have gathered in Laurel, Maryland for the Pound 2019 tournament.
Pow.
Today we visit the meeting of two players competing under the aliases of
Super
Mango
Pound,
and
brother.
Hungrybox.
Powerful
They're playing
Pound
Super Smash Bros.
pals,
Melee, a
I
video
guess.
game released in 2001
Scuffle.
for the Nintendo GameCube.
Wow.
Despite the age of the game, this event has managed to attract a live audience of a few hundred spectators and upwards of 70,000 viewers.
God,
tuning in
imagine
from
the
around the
smell
world.
and
Today
imagine the
is Championship
smell.
Sunday. After battling past the
Imagine
rest
the
of the
smell of that
competition,
venue.
the top
It must
12
reek
players
like
are competing for the title
it
of
must
this
reek
year's
like
Pound
a
champion.
dump or even a septic tank. One of those two. Nice. Dang.
Since this is a double elimination
Mango.
tournament, Hungrybox is kicked down to the loser's bracket where he now has to face S2J. The loser of this set will be out of the tournament in 5th place.
My mango don't know what they don't know. My mango is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody.
Hungrybox wins and advances to
Nice.
face Zane in the loser's semifinals. Quickly, Hungrybox finds himself in deep trouble, about to fall to an 0-2 deficit. With
Oh,
his
shit.
back against the wall, he rebounds to win game 2. He narrowly wins the next 2 games to eliminate Zane at 4th.
Damn. Player. Oh, he's got that port priority. I know nothing about competitive Smash. All I know is that a lot of them are unironic.
Once again, Hungrybox wins,
Because
eliminating
I don't know
Club
why.
at 3rd. After defeating everyone in the loser's bracket, Hungrybox has only one competitor left to face, Mango, the player who sent him down there
The
in the first place.
rematch. Time for the remix. Pokemon Battle Revolution music is so good. Sorry, yeah, Pokemon Battle Revolution music's awesome. It still makes me pissed at Nintendo and Pokemon and the Pokemon Company for sending them to the forever to the mobile mines.
Yeah, there it is.
Easy game, easy
In their
life.
second encounter of the tournament, Hungrybox defeats Mango 3 games
Now
to
we're
1 to reset the
even.
bracket. Since it's a double elimination tournament, Hungrybox must defeat Mango for a second time to win the tournament.
Aw, shit. Down to the wire. Winner takes all, loser don't recall. But yeah, Pokemon Battle Revolution. There was a glimmer of hope with Pokemon Championship, but haha, nope, fuck you, eat a dick. Nope, fuck you, eat a dick. It looks worse. They just, Game Freak just had to be jealous and throw them into the freaking mobile mines. Well, okay, that was Pokemon's, that was Nintendo's decision. But the Wii was Nintendo's decision. Piece of Wood was Nintendo's decision. And H-Box rinses them.
After an incredible comeback victory, Hungrybox
What a
begins to
comeback.
celebrate in front of the stunned crowd. But unfortunately
GG's.
for him, the
hell?
celebration he earned is about to be cut very, very short.
What?
Hungrybox
What
is
is
the
that?
champion.
What is that?
Once again.
What is that? What is he holding?
I'm not sure
A
what that is.
crab. A fucking crab.
Who threw this at me?
A whole ass crab.
Someone threw that at him?
Someone
Just
threw-
because
Whoa.
Hungrybox won.
Just 10 seconds after
Where
his
did they
victory,
even get a crab
disgruntled
from?
spectator throws a raw crab at Hungrybox, narrowly missing his head. In a matter of seconds, Hungrybox is transformed from the most joyful person in the arena to the most miserable. Most people don't care that much about video games, but some people do. Out of these people, most don't care about competitive gaming, but some do. And for all the esports out there,
here or there,
most spectators don't care about watching a 19-year-old game, but still, some do. And out of those few people, surely no one cares enough about the outcome of a match to throw a raw crab at the winner. But on this day in Laurel, Maryland, someone did.
I mean, someone... I bet a crab was easy to sneak in because the venue must have reeked so fucking much they probably didn't even notice the smelly carcass of a crab just in someone's pocket.
As far as I know, this is the only time something like this has ever happened in the history of competitive video games. But if it was
anything
gonna happen,
at all,
it was probably going to happen to Hungrybox. Who is Hungrybox?
Who is he?
You know how hard I work on here?
Dude, you play video games. Calm down, dude. I guess you could tell that to the crab man.
Before we can talk about Hungrybox, we have to talk about the game that made his name. Super Smash Bros. Is one of Nintendo's flagship franchises, releasing on every console dating back to its debut on the Nintendo 64. The game was originally conceived by developer Masahiro Sakurai,
Massive
who was
hero
interested in
soccer
creating
guy.
a four-player fighting game with Nintendo's
Hell
most
yeah.
iconic characters. Despite his vision, Sakurai prepared to field the game with generic fighters, as he never anticipated that Nintendo would approve of their flagship characters in such uncharted territory. However, much to his surprise, Nintendo greenlit the most ambitious crossover event in history, and Super Smash
Even
Bros.
more
Was
than
born from the
Avengers.
defiance of expectations.
Hell yeah. Smash 64 also has some freaking immaculate vibes. It has some great vibes. Just the look of it, the sound, the impacts in the American version. Like, yeah, I know about the realistic hit sounds in the Japanese version, but the American version has such nice impact sounds. It's awesome.
The game released in 1999 to a warm reception from critics and audiences alike. While the novelty of barbarically pummeling beloved childhood mascots drew people into Smash, the game's unique mechanics kept them playing. When first conceiving of the game, Sakurai wanted Smash to stand out from the typical 2D fighters of the era, and he accomplished this with the game's fundamental objective. In standard fighting games, players damage each other to deplete a health bar, and you win the game by lowering your opponent's health to 0.
How novel.
Super Smash Bros. Alters
What
this
a
formula by
concept.
instead programming damage to increase knockback, and setting the win condition to launching your opponent off screen.
Boom! Emulator issue.
This relatively
Nice.
simple change produced radically different gameplay from other fighting games. Instead of
Look at these
prioritizing
combos,
complex button
heavy
combinations
combos.
and precise spacing,
Hot damn.
Smash places much more emphasis on movement, platforming, and stage positioning, mechanics that were rarely considered in other fighting games at the time. While developing Smash, Sakurai wanted to offer the player a new experience with each session, and in doing so created a game with incredibly divergent outcomes, resulting in dynamic, unpredictable gameplay, but most importantly, a game that's very hard to figure out. This design philosophy would serve as the blueprint
Difficult
for
to
the series
learn,
going forward.
even
And
harder
while
to
Smash
master.
64 brought a lot of ideas to the table, the concept wouldn't realize its full potential until its successor, Melee.
Melee! Best song in the entire universe, by the way. Happy birthday! No, wait, no, it's just birthday. I love that gift so much.
It seems as
Birthday.
if Super Smash Bros. Melee has always been in a race against time, going all the way back to its development. After the success of Smash 64, Sakurai was tasked with developing its sequel in time for the debut of Nintendo's new console, the GameCube,
Hell
giving the
yeah,
team
love
at
that
HAL
purple
Laboratory just
lunchbox.
13 months to complete its most daunting project yet. After an exhaustive development cycle, The result was an accidental masterpiece. Compared to its predecessor, Melee was much faster. Faster movement, faster attacks, faster combos. The rapid pace of the game contributed
All
to incredibly
unintentional, by the
dynamic and
way.
unpredictable combat. Melee offers the player an immense degree of control over their character.
Damn,
Mechanically
Leffen getting
speaking, Sakurai
absolutely
described Melee as
reamed.
the sharpest in the series. Players seemed to agree as, upon release, Melee was a smash hit. However, despite the game's tight presentation, Melee would go on to be defined by its loose ends. The game's hasty development allowed a few oversights to slip through the cracks.
Oh, fucking
In
wobbling.
due time, players would begin to discover numerous exploits to gain a competitive edge over their opponents. Combined with Melee's already fast gameplay, these techniques were able to transform an already good game into a masterpiece.
Just like Quake. Just like Quake, or even Street Fighter, for that matter. Well, Street Fighter Super Turbo.
Super Smash Bros. Melee was, without a doubt, a very successful casual game, but its unique mechanics set the foundation for one of the greatest competitive games of all time. The discovery of such advanced tactics would push the game's potential beyond what anyone thought was possible.
Nice.
Shortly after the
that is
game's
Smash.
release,
Shine
local Melee
combos.
tournaments began to spring up everywhere,
Shine
and thousands
combos.
of players began contending for the title of the best Melee player in the world. Starting in 2004, Major League Gaming would sponsor Melee on its pro circuit, incentivizing the highest level of competition with thousands of dollars in prize money.
Wow.
As tournaments became more prestigious, so too did the players. Captain Jack, Isaiah, and Azin emerged as Melee's top contenders,
And
but
they
no
all
early
played
player was
Marth.
better than Ken,
How quaint.
the undisputed king of Smash.
Ken
From
combo.
2003 to 2005, he won almost every tournament he entered, beating Melee's best competition along the way. Around 2006,
Hot damn.
new challengers like PC Chris and Korean DJ began closing the gap. Ken retained his crown all the way through 2007, where Melee made its first appearance at EVO. After battling
EVO.
through Melee's biggest tournament yet, Ken would once again emerge victorious in what many at the time considered to be Melee's last hurrah.
There it is. The iconic trailer.
In competitive video
Yeah,
games, it's customary for players to
denim!
compete in the latest
Realistic.
version of their franchise.
Except for Kirby.
After
Kirby's
7
perfect the way
years
he
as
is.
the GameCube's most popular title, Melee was scheduled to be supplanted by the next Smash game.
God, Brawl's hype
As the
was... Brawl, if you weren't there, Brawl's hype was fucking insane. It was on par with Halo 3, I'd say.
Franchise moved to the Wii, the competitive Melee scene was expected to follow. However, following one of the most anticipated releases in video game history, Super Smash Bros. Brawl was not at all what people expected.
It's a nuclear fart.
The combat was slow and plodding.
Tripping.
Lower hit stun severely limited the potential of comboing. Advanced tactics like wave dashing were replaced with punishing mechanics like tripping, where the game would randomly stun players for dashing.
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
Sakurai!
Oh, you stupid son of a...
Stupid son of a...
Needless to say, the sluggish pace of Brawl was a drastic change from the fast-paced precision of Melee. Supposedly, Sakurai felt that Melee's highly technical execution made the game too difficult for casual play, and he worked to make the sequel much more simple and accessible for new players.
Oh no,
While
it's
Brawl
the...
succeeded as a casual game, it suffered competitively. Many of Melee's top players tried to give Brawl a chance. 1 year after his final Melee victory, Ken would return to the finals of EVO, playing Brawl, where he would be promptly beaten by a 14-year-old kid. The player who beat him had no prior tournament experience, and he only entered because his family just happened to be vacationing near the venue at the time. The tournament result was viewed as a total farce by the competitive Smash community. The fact that essentially a random player could
And
score a
items
fluke
were
win against a skilled
enabled,
veteran
that's
like
fucking
Ken
hilarious.
served as an indictment against Brawl as a competitive game.
Nice,
With all this
as it
considered,
should.
It didn't take long
It's
before
a
many
party
of Melee's
game after
competitors
all.
soured on the new Smash game.
It's a party
For
game.
the first time ever, the Smash community was
It's a party
divided over the
game.
future of the franchise. In an era before esports were
It
commonplace
is the best
in online culture,
I will
many
still stand by a lot of people that Brawl is the best casual experience for Smash. Melee is the best competitive, but casual, nah, I gotta give it to Brawl. Gotta give it to Brawl. Maybe Smash 4, but Wii U doesn't have Smash Run, so there you go.
Fans struggled to accept Smash Bros. As anything beyond its original role as a party game. Most were prepared to write off Melee as a stale, dead game with nothing left to figure out, and the vast majority of players were ready to move on with the series. Only a small, ragtag community would stay behind in what they considered to be the better game, and luckily for them, this 7-year-old title was still very much
You are
alive.
sick.
Right now
God.
we are in the Atlanta airport, and it's like 7:30 in the morning.
Hey, look, it's
cold.
Hungrybox. There he
Wearing a
is.
jacket, so it's not Florida.
Gigabits Lance. Lan.
Hungrybox started entering local Melee tournaments in the summer of 2007. In just a few months, he started regularly placing in the top 5. And by the next year, he started winning. As HBox kept playing, he found himself conquering tougher and tougher competition. In 2009, he entered Revival of Melee, the game's first major tournament since the release of Brawl. Facing off against the best in the nation, Hungrybox placed 7th. 4 months later at Genesis, he
Hot
placed
damn,
3rd.
7.
2 months after that,
Oh!
at Tipped Off 5, he won. Just
Who is
2
this
years after he
dude?
started competing, Hungrybox was already contending for the title of Best in the World.
The
But
GOAT,
in addition to his
even.
individual success,
The GOAT of all
HBox
time,
was
even.
arguably taking part in something much more important. The rise of Hungrybox was indicative of a new generation of Melee. By 2010, the old
The
legends
new
of yesteryear
gens.
had pretty much
Welcome
vanished.
to the new
Like
generation,
most of the
Street
old
Fighter
community,
3.
they had moved on to new frontiers. The departure of Melee's old generation left new top players the opportunity to usher in a new era. In January 2010, the Pound 4 tournament would mark the beginning of a period
Oh, hey,
in
Pound
Melee's
4.
history known as the Era of the Five Gods.
The
Specifically
5
serving as
gods.
the first tournament with all 5 gods in attendance. The story of Melee's gods begins with the first god, Mewtwo King. Beginning in
M2K.
2005, Mewtwo King would eventually rise and
R.I.P.
defeat
by the
Melee's
way.
old legends.
He's the one that,
Mewtwo King's melee ascent
killed
was due
himself,
almost
right?
entirely to his pioneering
M2K was the one that
research
killed
into the
himself?
game's combat, frame data, character matchups, KO percentages. Information that's
That's a
readily
shame,
accessible
though.
today was originally discovered by Mewtwo King's exhaustive exploration of Melee's mechanics. And for many years,
no, he's still around.
no player knew
He's still
more
around.
about the game than Mewtwo King. In 2008,
No, he's
Mewtwo
still
King was
around.
widely regarded as the top player in both
No, he's still
Melee
around.
and Brawl. To this day, he remains the only
That's good,
player to
at
achieve the
least.
concurrent title of Best in the World in 2 different Smash games. And as impressive as this accomplishment was, it meant that Mewtwo King's attention was divided among 2 very different games.
Oh,
leaving
he was the
door
one that
open for many to
left
challenge
because
his throne.
everything-
The second
all the
of Melee's
bullshit in
gods to rise
Smash.
to power would be Mango. who,
Mango!
By 2009, would overtake Mewtwo King as the top Melee player. Throughout the history
Mango.
of Melee, many would argue that no player had a more intuitive understanding of the game than Mango. Watching Mango
My
perform
Mango.
at his highest level is an
already
experience
did that joke.
unlike anything else in Melee. The
I
way
already
he
did
could
the riff raff
effortlessly
joke.
string together complex combos led to a style that was as fluid as it was unstoppable. At times, the only thing that could stop him was how much he was willing to try. Mango's
Scorpion
exciting
Master.
and aggressive playstyle
So he's a
made him a
Smurf.
consummate fan favorite, especially through his
Nice.
iconic clashes with Melee's third god,
Armada.
As
the
Europe's best
Peachman.
player, Armada carried the weight of a whole continent on his shoulders as he traveled to prove himself in the United States. Historically, Melee's competitive scene has viewed Europe as a significantly weaker region than North America. A
Yeah,
stigma
because-
that was often used by Americans to invalidate the success of European players.
Yeah, because PAL players actually had to play a super patched version. They actually play on the most recent patch. Also, I'm sorry, but I'm on just chatting. I'm not playing Majora's Mask until the video's over, and it's barely begun. So anyone that wants gaming, I'm sorry, gaming will be a little delayed.
Armada would defy everyone's expectations by immediately contending with America's best. His unrivaled dedication and consistency would make him one of the most formidable opponents Melee had ever seen. Hungrybox established himself as Melee's 4th god through his meteoric rise in 2009, and last but not least, Melee's new generation would be cemented through the rise of the 5th god, Dr. PP. Although he was the last to
Funny.
develop, PPMD would quickly rise to the highest level of competition. PP style relied on tactical execution to pick apart his opponents with surgical precision. When the doctor was in, you were about to be prescribed your daily dose of destruction.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc.
These are Melee's 5
PPM
gods.
Dr.
Now that we've
PP is
introduced
such a
who
funny
they are,
name.
we can talk about what they are. Carrying the title of God in any game entails a great deal of prestige, and Smash Bros. Is no exception. So what exactly did these 5 players do to transcend us lowly mortals? It's unknown who exactly introduced the term 5 gods to describe Melee's top players,
The 5
but the
heavenly
expression started
kings.
seeing frequent use in the summer of 2014, most likely used to describe the era of supreme dominance that preceded it. From 2009 to 2015, a member of the 5 gods would win every major tournament, utterly dismantling the rest of the competition in the process.
Hot damn.
In any competitive sport or game, it's typical to have 1 or 2 elite players win a lion's share of the competitions.
Yep.
Chess, for example,
The
has witnessed
GOAT.
Magnus Carlsen dominate the competition for the past 6 years. A rarer case is currently on display in tennis, which has seen 3 players dominate major tournaments over the past decade. A competitive game with 5 elite players occupying the same era is almost unheard of, but if such an unlikely event were to occur, it's somewhat fitting that it would happen in a game used to defying expectations. As the legend goes, Melee's 5 gods would hardly ever lose to any other players, and all were
Armada
capable
only
of
lost to
defeating
4
each other in any
mortals.
given competition. But just
It's
how
like
much
the,
better were the gods than everyone else?
the
as a
boss from
reminder,
Dark
I
Souls
like to
3
recall
with the
2
ones that-
cases involving the player Hacks,
the ones that
a
kill
skilled
each other.
competitor known for his flashy combos and lightning-quick execution.
think-
In 2013,
what are they
Hacks
called?
was
I don't
ranked as
know.
the number 6 player in the world,
Abyss
the
Watchers?
best of the non-gods. He would remain a perennial
Are they
top
called the
10
Abyss
player
Watchers? Are
until
they
his
even in Dark
hiatus in
Souls?
2015. In a 2014 tournament, Hacks faced off in a set against PPMD. In the first game, he
Dr.
got
PP.
3-stocked in about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it is Abyss Watchers. It is Abyss Watchers.
In the second game, he got 4-stocked in 68 seconds.
It is Abyss Watchers. They just kill each other waiting for the John Dark Soul the
Later
Third.
that year, Hacks would compete
John
in
Dark
a set
Soul the
against
Third.
Mango, which Mango would win 3 games to 1. Not the most impressive result, until you realize that Mango doesn't actually main Marth or Captain Falcon. That's just the difference between a good player and a god. Even when you're
Damn.
good, you're a long way from the best.
Yo,
Can't
did he
do it,
just
kid.
walk
I'm
up
the best.
slowly and down smash?
At one point,
Yo,
the
did
gods
he
were so
just
far
walk
above the
down
rest of the competition that they
slowly
could even win
and
with their
down
secondary
smash?
characters. Now would
That's
probably
a
be a good
classic.
time to talk about Melee's characters. Out of all the Smash games, Melee may have the most interesting character composition. Some Smash
Because a
games
lot
have
of them
1 or 2
fucking suck.
characters that outright dominate the meta, with the most obvious
Launch
example being
Bayo
Brawl's
in
aptly named
4.
Meta Knight, a character so blatantly overpowered that some tournaments chose to ban him entirely.
Good.
On the other hand, the best Melee character has always been kinda tough to figure out. To put it simply, about a third of Melee's roster are completely unusable in a competitive setting. Another third are just kinda bad, and the last third are all capable of winning tournaments. To this day, the community remains largely undecided on which
Aw,
character is
man.
actually the
Poor
best.
Link.
A debate that can
I
be
like
traced all the way
Link.
back to the beginning of the game through the history of Melee's tier lists.
There it
That's
is, the
right,
tier
this
list.
widespread facet of modern internet discourse originated from the niche purpose of
Right,
categorizing
R.I.P.
characters in
iDubbbz,
fighting
by the
games.
way. R.I.P. iDubbbz, by the way. I know he's not dead, but fucking hell. His fate is so much worse than death, in my opinion. His just getting completely yanked around by a foid like that, an OnlyFans foid. Yeah, that fucking sucks. Man, imagine if he told her where to stick it and went independent. He would have probably found someone that was nicer. But alas, we do not live in that. We do not live in that universe.
Course originated from the niche purpose of categorizing characters in fighting games. In the early days of Melee, Sheik was considered the best character with her rapid attacks and movement. As the meta progressed through the rest of the 2000s, more characters would emerge as top-tier contenders. Peach with her strong aerial attacks, Marth with his chain grabs and huge spacing, Captain Falcon with his heavy combos, the Ice Climbers with their infinite combo, and the space animals Fox and Falco with their great mobility and high damage. And then
J-Type
there's
steps
Puff.
up, doing some heavy combos. Oh shoot! Jigglypuff!
In any competitive video game, your character is far more important than just a colorful avatar.
Whoa.
It's an extension of the self, and an integral
It
part
is
of a player's
you,
identity.
your person.
In Melee, perhaps no
It's
player is more
your
intertwined
main,
with...
Your main is your Kinney. So you gotta pick the one that is most like you and main. What the hell? What the hell? But anyways, yes, thank you for the interruption and the raid. Thank you very much. Let's watch this video on Smash Bros. Smash
with a character
Bubbers.
than Hungrybox and his Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is the most confounding character in all of Melee. She arguably should have never existed as a Smash character at all. Puff is not even among the most popular characters in her own franchise, but she wound up in Smash anyway because of her similar character design to Kirby.
That's
the
debatable.
Smash 64 developers would recycle Kirby's character model and animations to fill out the game's 12th and final character slot, and thus, the balloon Pokemon would remain
I don't know why they
mainstay
did
for
that.
the rest of the franchise.
Why didn't
At a
they
glance,
just give it to
Jigglypuff in Melee seems like
Charizard
a
or
rather mediocre
Blast-
character. She has 5 jumps and great mobility, but her ground game leaves much to be desired. Most
Or
of her
even,
attacks do unimpressive damage and have a
Scyther.
short range.
So many more
Combined with
options,
the slowest
but-
dash speed in the
Sure,
game,
Jigglypuff.
Puff has a hard
Why
time
not?
approaching other characters.
She's a
2 of her
baby.
special attacks are practically useless in a competitive setting. She's the second lightest character with the slowest falling speed, meaning she tends to die much faster than any other character in the
Bye-bye.
game. With all this considered, it's difficult to imagine this character seeing any kind of competitive success. This sentiment was
I'm
echoed during
basic.
the early
I-
parts of the game
actually, no,
with
I like
Melee's inaugural
Blastoise.
tier list, which placed
Blastoise.
Jigglypuff firmly in the bottom half of the cast. However, as the game progressed, the Melee community found that Puff was a lot better than what they initially anticipated, due in large part to 2 moves. Back Air is Jigglypuff's strongest aerial attack. Thanks to a disjointed
Bear.
hitbox,
Look at
this
that
move provides
hitbox.
Jigglypuff with her only powerful ranged
Goofy
option.
hitbox.
Its relatively low end lag makes it spammable, granting Puff her only real way to space out opponents. And while Back Air may be Puff's most versatile move, it doesn't come close to her most game-changing move.
Rest! Rest! It's over!
Fucking rest.
The premise of Rest is quite simple. Hitting the move deals massive damage and knockback, killing most characters at very
Nice.
low percents. Missing the
I
move
forgot, what
will
was
stun
that?
you for
Ilya
3 seconds,
emote I put- oh,
basically
yeah, huh?
guaranteeing your own demise. Scoring a Rest is very difficult due to the move's small hitbox, basically requiring
Nuclear
Puff to be on top
bomb.
of the opponent's character to connect.
When the
But at
coughing
highest level of
baby is a
competition,
nuclear
the
bomb,
threat of getting rested
it,
forces other characters to treat
Jigglypuff
Puff
and Kirby.
like a ticking time bomb. Rest prevents opponents from aggressively rushing down Puff and smothering her with their otherwise superior attacks.
Actually, no,
It forces
Kirby
other
would be
players to
Hydrogen
back down and
Baby.
keep their distance,
He-
as one slip-up could lead to devastating
Hydrogen
consequences.
Baby versus
Throughout
Coughing
the
Bomb, that's
2000s,
just every
players
Kirby
would begin
game.
to discover the power of Puff, and the character would gradually move up Melee's tier list, peaking at number 3 overall in 2010, after Hungrybox and Mango showed that Puff could dominate at the highest level.
Sar baby.
However, on the cusp of what
Yeah.
looked to be a Jigglypuff uprising, the character was about to run into a major roadblock. Midway through 2010, Mango unexpectedly dropped Puff as his main, choosing instead to move forward with Fox and Falco. Mango's
Oh, hey,
character
Futurama.
swap marked the beginning of a trend in Melee that would go on to be known
20XX.
as 20XX.
20XX.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow!
Hell
By 2011,
yeah.
the Melee
Love
metagame had undergone
Futurama.
more than 10 years of evolution,
Moab, baby.
and its combat was starting to get very optimized. For Melee's community, no character represented the game's
20XX. No items.
optimization
Fox
more than
only.
Fox.
Final
Ever since
destination.
the beginning, Fox was always considered to be a character with incredible potential. but no one could truly harness it until the metagame had progressed beyond a high enough threshold of technical skill.
Fox.
To put it simply, Fox in Melee is the fastest character in the fastest Smash game.
Look at him
If
go.
played perfectly,
Look at him go.
Fox's rapid movement and attacks
By the way, this is
should
just a
theoretically
task.
overwhelm any other
You
character
haven't
in the
played
game.
Smash since the Wii.
Optimal
Oh,
execution
Brawl.
with Fox pushes
Brawl
the limits of what's
based.
humanly possible
Based
with a
Brawl
controller,
player.
but that wouldn't stop many players from seeking the holy grail of peak Melee performance. One of those
And that's
players was
Fox.
Hax, the originator of the 20XX meme, and widely regarded
There
as
it
the
is.
best Captain
Oh
Falcon.
yeah, if you don't know what
the
20XX
originator of
is,
the 20
the year is 20XX. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Everyone plays Fox at task levels of perfection. Because of this, the winner of a match depends solely on port priority. The rock, paper, scissors metagame has evolved into ridiculous levels due to it being the only remaining factor to decide matches.
20XX
Look at
meme,
that's hilarious.
and widely regarded as the best Captain Falcon player in the world before switching
That's
to
hilarious.
Fox. Much to the dismay of Captain Falcon fans, who viewed the switch
You
as
and
a
the
betrayal.
Chevys in one.
Mango's
good,
infamous set
Lamau.
versus Hax supposedly came as a result of Mango trying to teach Hax
Walk
a
up
lesson that Fox
slowly
was not
and
quite the
down
Melee Messiah
smash.
that everyone envisioned. Some of you may see this as ironic since Mango himself abandoned his original character for Fox, but it starts to make more sense when you consider the scale of sickness.
The
Melee community
sickness
loves to throw
scale.
around this idea of players and characters
Play the Melee drinking game. Pop open a Melee stream and take a shot every time you hear the word sick. Do not do this. You will probably die. Or at least don't drink alcohol doing this.
being sick. A sick character roughly translates to a
Sick.
character being cool, dynamic,
Hell
and
yeah,
generally
look
fun
at
to
that.
watch and play. Arguably more important than Melee's tier list is its sick list,
The
which
sick
by my
list.
estimate looks something
That
like
bad?
this. You see, Hax switching
I mean,
from
they
Falcon
say
to
sick a
Fox
lot,
may have
so,
improved his standing
yeah.
on the tier list, but he kicked himself down a peg on the sick list, and the move was somewhat unpopular.
The
On the other
knee.
hand, when Mango switched from Puff to Fox, he upgraded his sickness by a huge margin, because in the realm of Melee, no character is lamer than Jigglypuff.
And how lame is Jigglypuff?
Boo! Look at Hugo's so bored. Look at Hugo's so bored. Boo!
For many fans of the game, Jigglypuff represents the antithesis of everything that makes Melee great. She requires lower technical skill than the rest of the high-tier characters. She's floaty and hard to combo. Her playstyle is inherently slow, campy, and defensive. Spectators often accuse her of being boring to watch and play. These are many of the same points that Melee players use to claim why Brawl is an inferior successor. And
Uh-oh.
yet, sitting right inside their otherwise flawless masterpiece is a
Oh
little
my
pink blemish. For this fundamental incongruity,
puffball!
Jigglypuff is Melee's black sheep. But even the most despised character in all of Melee can still find support from some players. One of those people was Hungrybox, who all of a sudden found himself as the #1 Jigglypuff player in the world. Unlike Mango,
Cool.
who had always demonstrated proficiency
Campy
with a
and-
variety of
campy
characters,
and defensive.
Hungrybox only played Puff. Whether it was out of loyalty or necessity, Hungrybox would
People
show up
who
year
play
after
defensive
year,
make
game
me
after game,
sick.
rain or shine, with the same tried
Said by a rushdown.
Most Melee players
I love
consider
the Unga
Jigglypuff
Bunga.
to have a solid matchup spread, having winning
I
or
love
even
the Unga
matchups
Bunga.
with most of the other high-tier characters. But without a doubt,
I'm
Jigglypuff's
spiritually
most difficult
an
matchup comes against Fox, whose powerful vertical attacks are capable of launching Puff into the stratosphere at low percents. Fox versus Puff is quite possibly Melee's most intriguing matchup, pitting the strongest offensive character against the strongest defensive character. For ages, Fox
Unbreakable
stood mightily as
Wall
Jigglypuff's only
versus-
hard counter, and as Fox began to dominate Melee's meta, the game was about to get a lot
Immovable
harder for
object
Hungrybox.
versus fastest. Whatever.
By 2011, the era of the Five Gods was well underway. Despite HBox's impressive 2010, his tournament results would stumble a bit in the following years. He would
It
grab
is
the
not
occasional
my
first
son.
place at smaller events, but would struggle to win at tournaments with more than one other god in attendance. Although around this time, he hardly had much of an opportunity. Melee was still very much in the midst of a competitive dark age, and nationally organized tournaments were few and far between. Despite its small underground following, the Melee community held steady, persisting through sparse events and prize money fueled
That
almost
pop-off,
entirely by the
though.
love of the game itself. Their patience
Peter
would pay off
Pop-Off.
when, unbeknownst to anyone at the time, Melee would once again be thrust into the spotlight.
2013. What
2013
happened
was
then?
arguably the most influential year in Melee's history, a year that was marked by 3 monumental events. 2013
All right, what's the
oversaw
first
the release
one?
of Project M, one of the most
Project
ambitious
M!
video game mods of all time, which sought to reimagine what Brawl could have been had it retained Melee's fast-paced mechanics.
Nice. Now that's nice. Also, the creator of Doki Doki Literature Club made this fun fact.
For the first time ever, Melee players could enjoy what they felt was a true sequel to Melee. Also in 2013, independent filmmaker Travis Beauchamp would release the Smash Brothers documentary to critical acclaim.
Cool.
The film would bring unprecedented exposure to Melee's underground scene and would go on to inspire a new generation of players to compete in the coming years.
Heck
But without
yeah.
a doubt, 2013 saw perhaps the most important event in the history of competitive Melee, where after 6 long years of slumber, Super Smash Bros. Melee would return to EVO. The announcement quickly drew in over 700 competitors, making EVO 2013 the biggest Melee tournament to date. And heading into the event, all eyes shifted towards the 5 gods of the game.
Heck yeah. Damn. Yeah, it's been a while since Evo had a smash, had a Smashy Bros.
He's gonna take it over Dr. Pee-Pee.
Dr. Pee-Pee is clocked out. The doctor's out. Huh? Right, there's Shek. And he beefs the Invincible.
Still covering this edge position. Oh!
And
R.I.P.
DRPT. M2K RIP. M2K KIA. USA. Mango. And he does it. That's a lot of players.
To everyone's surprise, Hungrybox found himself in winners finals of Melee's most important tournament to date. Even more shocking was his opponent, Wobbles, an ice climbers player in the twilight of his career
This
who managed to slay
motherfucker.
2 gods on his way
Gee,
to one
I
of the
wonder
most
why
improbable
and
runs
how
in
he
Melee
got
history.
here.
Hungrybox
Why he's
was in
named
prime
that.
position to become EVO champion. All he had to do was beat Wobbles in a favorable character matchup, and then win just one more set in grand finals, and he would claim Melee's most coveted title.
All right. Can he do it? Does he do it? Huh? Just don't get wobbled. Don't get wobbled. Oh, he got wobbled. As I say, don't get wobbled, he gets wobbled. What does he do? He gets wobbled. Happens to the best of us. Oh,
This time. Oh, he got it this time. Oh. Wow.
no,
They're
wobbled.
done. Hungrybox down to his last stock, perhaps. Winner's side.
Damn.
Hungrybox probably used to this ring. Ooh. That's
Damn.
it. Wobbles is in grand finals.
Astoundingly, Wobbles did the unthinkable by conquering
Damn.
a 3rd god in a row. To make matters worse for HBox, the moment he lost, he didn't even know that he had.
Wait, do they know it's 2 out of 3? I think they think it's 3 out of 5.
Oh,
I don't know if they
oh
know.
shit.
I don't know. I think
He doesn't know.
Do they know? Yeah, I think they think it's 3 out of 5 because that's the standard. And there's the handshake, Hungrybox. Oh, Hungrybox is not happy about
Damn,
this.
he's
There's the handshake.
so mad.
And Wobbles.
He tried it.
After this discouraging moment, Hungrybox had to imagine that his golden opportunity to claim the EVO crown had slipped right through his fingers.
over.
The rest, as they
It's
say,
so fucking
is
over.
history.
A miracle
Oh,
right
wait.
now. Oh, he read that roll! 3-0 in that first set to get
But-
revenge against the man who sent him in the loser's bracket. Situation, but still
And Mango takes it. Steam from his ears. Yeah.
Mango has come all the way back.
We may never know just how influential Mango's EVO 2013 win was, but the game's most popular player winning its biggest event was enough to catapult Melee out of the Dark Ages and into a renaissance.
Into
It
the
breathed new life into
stratosphere.
the game as a competitive spectacle, during a time when esports were just beginning to enter the public consciousness. In the coming years, Viewership, attendance, sponsorships, and prize money would skyrocket. After EVO 2013, Melee would never be the same. While the game was booming, Hungrybox was slumping. With his loss at EVO, HBox only added to his 3-year-long major tournament losing streak. And he did so in gut-wrenching fashion.
Depression.
Not just getting upset by wobbles, but also handing the tournament win to Mango, who was, at the time, Hungrybox's biggest rival. Following his EVO victory, Mango hosted a now infamous Reddit AMA, on which Hungrybox voiced some scathing remarks about how Mango had disrespected him for his entire career. Mango's response? Come up and get me.
I'm the boss.
Oh, the beef.
That's right.
I'm the boss.
2013 also saw the
You said
release
it,
of
boss.
Melee's first annual player rankings. Mango, following his monumental win at EVO, scored the #1 rank. Hungrybox, in a lackluster year, sat 5th, the worst of the best. As 2014
worst of
rolled
the best,
around,
the
things
best of
would
the
only
worst.
get more tumultuous for Hungrybox. This was the year that 20XX began to tip the scales of the Melee metagame.
20XX.
In addition to the other gods of the game, Hungrybox now had to face a rising generation of highly technical Fox players like Hacks, Leffen, and Lucky. With each tournament,
Leffen,
the Puff
that
main was dealing with more
motherfucker.
threats than ever before. If the Fox Revolution wasn't enough, HBox also faced challenges that few others could have anticipated. During
Losing
this
to
time,
Young
Armada would
Link,
frequently
holy
thwart HBox by
shit.
using Young Link, an obscure mid-tier who was only really viable at countering Puff. Hungrybox's losing
Young
streak would
Link.
continue deep into 2014,
Y-U-N-G.
where he would once again
Link,
enter EVO
even.
in desperate need of a win. In his most impressive performance
Again,
of the year,
EVO.
Hungrybox would play valiantly, beating PPMD and finally vanquishing
Nice.
Armada's Young Link, only to be double eliminated by Mango, who won the
Damn.
tournament for the 2nd year in a row.
Mango
What Hungrybox lacked in
again.
winning, he made up for with his flair for the dramatic.
She spins around when she does it too. Oh man, Hungrybox still alive. Left in.
Oh, fuck.
Back.
A few
The
moments
taunt?
later.
Wow.
Is this it? This
Okay,
Oh,
he's
is he gonna do? And boom! Taunt to get
Around this
bodied.
time, Hungrybox started
Took a
developing
while,
penchant
but
for making ridiculous
what goes
comebacks.
around comes
These
around.
Clutch displays reminded everyone of his
What
skill.
goes around
and earned
comes
him the
around.
moniker of Clutchbox. But
Clutch
improbable
box.
comebacks weren't the only
It's
dramatic
like
traits
something
of
you'd find in a
HBox's
car.
play. Much like his in-game character, HBox 2 was a bit theatrical and emotional. During this time, he was most often characterized by his explosive pop-offs after close wins.
Peter Popoff.
Perhaps it was his way of confronting
Hell
the growing
yeah.
pressure from Melee's new wave of spectators. The combination of his god status and defensive playstyle caused many fans to actively root against him. By the summer of 2014, Melee was no longer just a ragtag bunch of players competing mostly for bragging rights. It was becoming a legitimate esport, with its players falling under the scrutiny of thousands of spectators. You have to imagine that any player would have a tough time adjusting to such a drastic change, especially in Hungrybox's case where, more often than not, the crowd was firmly against him. 2014 marked a year of tremendous growth and change for Melee, but Hungrybox ended the year exactly where he started, ranked 5th. After a disappointing finish at the Big House, some began to question whether he still deserved his god status, or if it was even worth it for him to continue sticking to Jigglypuff. Fortunately for Hungrybox, the world of Melee was about to realize that he performed the best under pressure.
Pressure makes diamonds, after all. 2015. 2015. Paragon. Orlando.
And Mewtwo King gives up
Wait.
game 1.
Why did he
I
do
really
that?
feel
Why
like
did he
Hungrybox's attack
SD
is
like that?
applicable. Bruh.
I'm the Crushman, Crushman.
That's gonna be it. Yeah,
And done.
Wow.
Done
And
and dusted.
Mewtwo King is so upset.
And again with the SD, he just doesn't care.
That is it. Beautiful job. Hungrybox beats Mewtwo King yet again.
Hungrybox opened 2015 with a bang by winning Paragon Orlando in dominant fashion. At long last, HBox won a tournament with multiple other gods in attendance,
He did it.
snapping a losing streak dating back to 2010. The celebration would not last long, however, as through his victory, Hungrybox had just awoken a sleeping giant.
Uh-oh.
That's it. Nice. Wow.
Here comes the
Just like that,
beast.
Hungrybox up 2-0. Fox? Did I hear Fox? I heard Fox. Okay, let's see. Let's
shit.
see what Armada can do.
Fox?
Throughout the rise of Fox in the Melee metagame, Armada was one of the few remaining holdouts who did not pick up Fox in any capacity. That all changed in 2015 when he determined that solo maining Peach was no longer a viable option. Over the past several years, Hungrybox had been slowly but surely improving at the Puff Fox matchup. The abundance of Fox players in the meta gave Hungrybox a matchup nightmare at first, but it also provided him with plenty of practice to learn how to counter it. The prior years of frustration gave him enough experience to turn a daunting matchup into an increasingly winnable one. Armada's Fox, however, was different than anything Hungrybox had ever seen before. It was as technical as any other players, but matched the patience and discipline of Hungrybox's own playstyle. Following Paragon, Armada's Fox would beat Hungrybox at Apex 2015, then again at Sandstorm.
Damn.
After the character change, HBox would fall to Armada 7 out of the next 8 sets they played. But despite this new setback, Hungrybox was rising. His tournament results were
getting
gradually
better.
improving, but more importantly, he learned how to adapt to the spotlight. 2015 featured the debut of Heel Hungrybox, where he learned to embrace his role as Melee's villain.
Box.
What determines the winner or the loser? I don't know if you can hear this in my headset, but like, listen to the crowd.
Yo, the crowd is not happy.
They hate
developed
him.
a cocky, brazen persona that he used to taunt hostile audiences.
Hate him.
And perhaps no other tournament
He looks like
showcased
Harada.
Heel HBox better than EVO 2015,
Kinda looks like Harada.
where for the third year in a row, Hungrybox faced off against Mango.
Damn. Hosed. Pull up. Damn. Oh, he's bringing it around. Oh, nice SD.
Therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, I'm determined to prove a villain.
Hungrybox walks off. I don't even think he should
Get off of Reddit and go practice. Okay, motherfucker.
Oh my God,
Practice he did.
Fox has this. He has Mango right where he wants him.
And Hungrybox defeats Mango. There will not be
Did
a
it.
repeat. Mango is out of the
He
tournament
beat
in 5th
him.
place.
Nice.
For 2 years, I held my head high. And the reception I got when I came out here, you fans can stick it, brother.
Hungrybox would then go
Hollywood
on to beat PPMD
Hogan.
and return to EVO Grand Finals before losing once more to Armada's Fox.
Damn it.
Although
Armada
he equaled his
again.
placement from the prior year, EVO 2015 felt different. Hungrybox had finally bested his greatest rival on the biggest stage. He looked stronger and more confident in his game than ever before. EVO 2015 represented a major turning point in HBox's career, where he toppled one rival for another to take their place. From that day on, Hungrybox had his sights set on Armada.
Say, man, this
The
tournament
greatest
is looking pretty,
Fox.
unless Armada blows it pretty
Big
hard.
House
I don't know.
5.
I mean,
Oh,
That
it's
is it.
over.
A few months later, the two would once again meet at the Big House, where Armada would double eliminate HBox, who looked no closer to solving his Fox. He may have been totally stumped if it weren't for a little help from Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Hold on to your teeth, Natty. Crunch your eyes.
Crunch was a Fox player from Hungrybox's hometown of Orlando. After a disappointing finish at
Captain
CEO 2015,
Crunch.
their hometown
Mr.
tournament,
Crunch.
HBox and Crunch started
Brendan
talking about how to deal
McNamara.
with Puff's most difficult matchup. Soon after, Crunch
Studio
assumed the role of
Bondi.
Hungrybox's full-time coach, and after losing to Armada at the Big House, HBox and Crunch made it their mission to analyze Armada's playstyle and find a way to beat him. For weeks, Hungrybox dedicated himself to study and grind the matchup, so that the next time they met in bracket, he would be prepared.
DreamHack winner in... I can't read that. I can't read Swedish. Swedish in the Swedish. No hate to the Swedes.
When Armada plays the platform, Hbox is all over him.
I think that is it. Congratulations to
That's
Hungrybox making history here
He did
on
it.
European soil.
With his win against Armada, Hungrybox had proven that he could conquer anyone and everyone that Melee had to offer. He had spent a whole year building himself up as Melee's unstoppable villain, but after perhaps the most monumental win of his career so far, the pompous, arrogant Hbox unexpectedly broke down in tears.
D1,
He did it.
I've wanted this for so long. And you know, my dad just passed away, you know.
Oh.
It was my biological dad, and I know it's personal stuff, but he told me, you'll never be the best. You'll be good, but you'll never be the best.
Oh. And that was his dad.
There's an interview segment somewhere on YouTube featuring 4 of the 5 gods. Hungrybox was supposed to be there too, but due to a scheduling conflict, he couldn't participate. The producers decided to replace Hungrybox with a cardboard cutout of Hungrybox. An amusing prop, but also a disturbingly accurate metaphor of how many in the Smash community view him.
It looks like you might know something about.
I know nothing.
You have no. Wait,
I know nothing.
Any of you guys have any experience hanging out with him?
I'm actually not entirely sure what to say because I feel like I know Hungrybox more than I know Juan.
Juan, but not forgotten.
It seems that Juan has always had a hard time fitting in, dating all the way back to his childhood when his family emigrated from Argentina to the United States. You have to imagine that it's not exactly easy to make a lot of friends at school when most of your classmates don't even speak the same language as you. Things at home weren't much better for him either. Juan's domestic life was often thrown into turmoil by his father, who would mismanage his family's wealth and outright abandon them in pursuit of his own fruitless business ventures. Juan's complex relationship with his father and the world around him ultimately created the competitor you see today, for better or for worse. The conflict Juan faced growing up instilled in him a powerful work ethic and unparalleled mental fortitude that he used to excel in Melee and in life. All those losses over the years suddenly become a lot more reasonable when you realize that Hbox was balancing Melee with a full-time student workload, and then a full-time job as an engineer.
Crazy!
Here's the amazing thing.
Hot
about
damn.
going through school and working your ass off.
Graduated! Graduation stream? No! My Oshi! My Kami Oshi!
And working your ass off.
You know how many times I did my own homework? I have more EVO wins than I did my homework.
There's another video on YouTube that intercuts Hungrybox's graduation speech with Mango's high school stories. The juxtaposition here is fascinating. Unlike Hbox, Mango never tried at school. He risked all of his life's prospects to become the best Melee player in the world, and ultimately succeeded. That part of Mango's personality represents the spirit of competitive Melee as a whole, a community that was never supposed to succeed, never supposed to make it as far as they did, never supposed to outlast the other Smash games, and yet, against all odds, they did. Some Melee fans like to imagine that Hungrybox would still be successful even if he never picked up a controller, that Hungrybox never needed Melee, and that Melee doesn't need Hungrybox.
This game has been my escape for over a decade from whatever else life offers. And for everyone else, if that's the same for you, I love you and thank you for coming.
After moving to America, Hungrybox used Melee as a way to fit in, as a way to make friends, and as a way to seek refuge from the turbulent environment around him. Hungrybox needed Melee as much as anyone else. His passion for the game is undeniable.
TYBG.
But soon enough, he would find that the very community from which he sought comfort and acceptance was beginning to reject him. Like everything else in his life, it only gave him a bigger chip on his shoulder.
And they hurl insults at you, and they tell you, you know, all the worst things you could imagine, with no respect or no care for what's going on in your personal life. No, they don't give a rat's ass about that. They just care that you play a really gay Jigglypuff. And I came close. You know? Came really close to just giving up, to quitting. I did. I'll play this game for 20 more years, if that's what it takes to be the best player in the world.
Spite is the greatest motivator. 2016!
Hungrybox ended 2015 ranked second behind Armada. Fueled by his newfound belief that he could beat anyone, Hungrybox entered 2016 on a warpath.
I kind of relate to Hbox though. Kinda.
The first half of the year was marked by Hungrybox and Armada swapping tournament wins. Both competitors were playing at the highest caliber of their entire careers, and they looked to be on a collision course heading into EVO.
Aw shit, here we go.
EVO 2016 would represent the absolute peak of Melee as a competitive game.
The pinnacle
the tournament
of
drew
Melee.
more than 2,300 entrants, a figure not matched before or since. For Hungrybox, his path was clear. Make it back to Grand Finals where, more likely than not, Armada would be there, waiting for him.
Whose remix of
This
Cult of
time,
Personality
however,
is that?
Hungrybox would know how to beat
I
him.
think that's from Rock and Roll Racing. I think it's from Rock and Roll Racing.
Truly, it would be a
Hello,
battle
NT,
for
welcome.
the ages.
Oh my god, he just did it! Mr. J, are you out of your mind? This is evil!
Okay, never mind. It isn't.
Whoa!
I guess.
All right. Hungrybox.
I
with
guess
a 2-0
not.
Victory over Chillidu.
More Pokemon Battle Revolution music.
I mean, being down this much, even without time, is hard. And yeah, classic Hungrybox. My man's a top 8.
So count them. All done. 0 grabs thus far.
Yeah, no.
Da, 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 da.
The winner's bracket up 1-0.
He's putting these hitboxes right outside of where Hbox wants to be. This is the needles right now. He's trying to snipe his jump. What's he gonna get?
Oh shit.
Oh my god!
2-0!
Shit.
And Club advances in the winner's side.
Damn it.
Hungrybox going down to the loser's bracket.
Yo, the assassin needle.
Oh no.
As the story goes, following his loss to Plup in winner's semifinals, Hungrybox was so discouraged that he almost checked out of the tournament entirely. All of a
Fuck.
sudden, the memories of his past failures all came rushing back, along with the bleak realization that this year would be no different.
The
Although
downward
he adorned the nickname
spiral.
of Clutch, he had never actually won a major tournament from the
Choke
loser's bracket.
box.
For a brief
Potential
moment in his
god,
mind, his
if-
fate was sealed. For all the progress he made, and
If
as far as
and
he
when,
came,
but never
Hungrybox
is.
could not win on the biggest stage when it mattered the most.
If
He
and when.
likely would have been finished too, if it weren't for
Or
a little
whatever it
help
was.
from Captain Crunch. Sometime in the interval between matches, Crunch was able to calm Hbox down and refresh his mindset for the next match. Sometimes, before you can learn how to win, you have to learn how to lose. It was at this moment that Hungrybox truly became Clutch, because after all, there was still so much Melee left to play.
Oh, it was a cover. I think I found it though. I might play it during BRB. Alright. It's time. Time to bring it back. You could do it, Juanito. You could do it, Juanito. I believe in you. Sick beats though. Emp had some really good taste in music. He has some god tier taste in music. Oh, can you beat him? Ah, nice. Wait, they forgot to update the score. It's 1-1, right?
Hungrybox turning
Oh, nice. Nice. All right, back to Plup, the guy that knocked him down. The guy that knocked him down. Come on, Jiggles, you can do it. All right, 1-1. Best of 3, or best of 5 even. All right. Oh. Yeah, he does it. He does it. He's in disbelief. He's like, oh, what the fuck? That hit? Oh shit. All right. The grand finals. This one's for all the marbles and the Red Bulls and the ramen and the cup noodles. By the way, curry cup noodles is the best cup noodles. I'm sorry if you don't agree. I'm sorry if you don't agree with that. You're objectively wrong. Unless you say seafood is better and then... Fuck, that's hard to argue. They're both great. Depends. It really just depends. Do you want more like potatoey? Like, you want like chicken? You want like potato chicken flavor, or do you want seafood? Do you want like little bits of lobster? Well, not lobster, just crab. General seafood. Oh shit! All right, the final hope. Oh fuck! Armada.
All right, Evo 2016 is on the line right now. One more big hit from Armada is going to end this tournament.
One more big hit. He whiffed. He whiffed. Whiffed. He missed.
And then the moment that changed Melee forever.
Oh! Holy shit! That was a glancing blow! H-Box got saved by a fucking glancing blow!
And then the moment
like,
that changed
look at
Melee
this!
forever.
Look! No knockback! That didn't do any knockback! It was a phantom hit! It was a fucking phantom hit. The glitch that changed history. And it's over! He did it! Winner take all, set 2. This one's for everything. The hopes and dreams. Dreamland. Oh, and he's out of there. All right. Game 10 for all the hopes and dreams of all Smash players and God, humans and gods alike. And he did it! He did it! He did it!
Sometimes
The
the only
most
thing you need to win is
yataze.
believing that you can. In Melee, the difference between winning and losing can often come down to just a few pixels and a few frames.
Yep.
But the difference between winners and losers feels far, far greater.
Holy
For years,
fuck.
Hungrybox embodied the
That was a
competitor who was never
glancing
quite good
blow.
enough.
If you don't know what a glancing blow is, it's also known as a phantom hit. It's a hit that deals damage but no knockback.
He was always so
It's
close, yet
crazy.
so far.
That's
Evo
fucking
2016
insane.
changed all of that.
Psychotic.
And Hungrybox walked out of that
Serial
building
killer
a completely different
S.
player. After accomplishing
Serial
what he did,
killer
nothing
S.
could stop him from becoming the best in the world. From that moment on,
The
Hungrybox
GOAT
would
of
never be
all
the same,
time.
and neither would Melee.
God
After conquering his greatest
fucking
challenge yet,
damn.
Hungrybox fell into a bit of a slump. After starting the year on fire, he would not win another tournament after Evo, finishing second in the rankings, once again trailing Armada. Following a disappointing loss at the Big House, he would take a moment to pause and reevaluate his life. Perhaps guided by those discouraging words that haunted him for his entire
You'll
career,
be good, but you'll
he knew
never
what he
be
had
the
to
best.
do. At the end of 2016, Hungrybox quit his job to play Melee full-time.
Yeah, become a NEET.
At first, his newfound commitment to the game didn't seem to change much. It didn't help that it coincided with possibly the most dominant stretch of Armada's career. But then, late in the year, Hungrybox started winning, and then he kept on winning. If he could score a victory at the Big House, HBox could put himself in serious contention for the #1 ranking.
Hell
His
yeah.
rival Armada would fall to Plup, who was in the midst of an incredible winner's bracket run. Hungrybox
Oh,
would
damn.
stumble early,
Plup becoming
then
a
proceed
god?
to tear through the loser's bracket to meet Plup in grand finals. As the crowd rallied around the underdog Plup to complete his fairy tale run, the glass slipper broke.
That might.
And there it is.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Hungrybox!
Godhood
Hungrybox closes it
denied.
out.
There was no pop-off after Hungrybox double-eliminated Plup to capture his first Big House title. He just slowly turned his gaze towards the now lifeless crowd. A few people
Ding.
clapped, a couple cheered. Most had already begun filing for the exits without saying a word.
Man,
What
I'm in a weird mood.
what a shit show. I'm
No
out of
way.
here.
Usually when I win an event, I'm like ecstatic and I
Right.
jump off, but like I think I feel like I left part of me on that stage today. You ever have everything you ever wanted, and then when you finally have it, you're like, now what?
Now what?
1 year ago, after the
We
very same
live.
tournament,
We can
Hungrybox
finally
decided that
live.
he was ready to become
We can
Melee's
finally
best player.
live.
He never stopped to consider whether Melee was ready for him. Be careful what you wish for, Juan.
Oh, hey, how appropriate. Game. Well, he's a big winner. He's the biggest winner. The most winningest man of Melee.
Well, we're boned.
We're boned. The last of the old gods.
And
He
so we
did
enter
it.
the era of HBox as the #1 Melee player.
The
an
GOAT
era
of
characterized
all
by two
time.
remarkable shifts in Melee. The
Oh yeah,
first of
Plup
which
is a
being
god
the end
now.
of the 5 gods dominating the game.
No
the
more
untouchable
Dr.
status of
PP.
the gods had been in decline ever since 2016.
No more
after
Dr.
PPMD
PP.
was forced to take an indefinite leave of absence due to medical issues. To this day, he has still not returned to competitive play.
I think that's also because, yeah. I think he also wasn't he also make design? Wasn't he also a designer for the Mixbox? I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. But what isn't it because of him that the Mixbox is a thing? Because it's more ergonomic and strains the hands less, and also doesn't wear and tear your GameCube controller to shit. Probably, I don't know.
The 4 remaining gods continued to hold the keys to the kingdom through 2017,
Not
but
Mute
many were
M2K.
beginning to tell that the end was near.
No shield. Armada.
And Leffen Leopard Strive, the worst Guilty Gear. That's
2018
funny.
saw the year's 2 biggest events fall to new contenders, with Plup taking Genesis and Leffen taking Evo.
Look at this goofy
Midway through
dino shorts.
2018,
That's awesome.
Armada seemed poised to
pants.
retake the #1 rank from Hungrybox, only to shock everyone by announcing his sudden retirement from Melee singles competition.
Damn.
Although never explicitly mentioned, many have attributed his retirement to the constant stress he suffered from trying to keep pace with Hungrybox.
For me, I feel like if I can't have fun doing it, then it's no point in doing it.
If it's not
At around
fun,
the same
why
time,
bother?
Mewtwo King started shifting his focus away from Melee in favor of streaming and writing his book. In 2019,
Buy
Mewtwo
my
King only
book!
competed
Buy
in 4
my
events
book!
and
It's always
looks
books with
unlikely
these
to return to
fuckers.
full-time competition anytime soon.
Yeah, he
Mango,
quit.
perhaps
He
the
just
most
completely
dominant
quit
player
Melee.
ever in his prime, failed to win a tournament in 2018. And while he can still crank out the occasional epic performance, his inconsistency has relegated him to a shadow of his former glory, placing his god status in serious question. These days, it seems that Hungrybox is the only god left who can still strike fear into the hearts of his opponents through his sheer dominance alone. In his time, there were 4 others like him. Now, there's just one.
There can be only
state of Melee
one.
is represented partly by the
Nice.
decline of the gods, but mostly by something far more confounding. Hungrybox always wanted to become the best in the world. He struggled through years of frustration, gradually improving and eventually defeating the best players that Melee had to offer. But when he finally achieved his life's goal, he began to realize that the promised land didn't exactly come as promised. Becoming #1 in the world was the hardest thing Hungrybox had done in his entire life. He was about to find out that being #1 was even harder. It's common for sports or games to generally dislike their most
Sorry. I felt like I was locking up for a bit. Wait, what? Okay.
dominant competitors.
I probably
but in all
didn't
these
click
cases,
pause.
most of the hatred never strays far from the confines of the competitive landscape. You hate Tom Brady when he destroys your favorite team in the playoffs, but if you saw him walking down the street, you'd probably want his autograph. In Melee,
No, I
the
wouldn't.
hatred
He
for
would-
Hungrybox has progressed
he
far
would-
beyond a simple
Doesn't he
competitive
kiss
rivalry.
his
A large
son on the
fraction
mouth?
of the Melee community
Or am I
seem
thinking
to
of
treat
another
Hungrybox
football
with
player?
utter contempt. A lot of this comes from the idea that, by simply being the #1 player, Hungrybox is killing the game. Much of this
He's
rhetoric
killing
stems
the
from
video
players
game!
like Leffen, who has assumed the role of Hungrybox's arch-rival following Armada's retirement. Leffen is perhaps the biggest proponent of the Puff Doomsday Theory.
Leffen's
a scenario I
worse!
have
What are you talking
unofficially
about?
labeled 20FF.
20FF. 20FF?
Leffen believes that Jigglypuff is not only the strongest character, but the easiest to play. In the year 20FF,
Really now?
no one plays Fox anymore because everyone has switched to Puff in order to beat Hungrybox. Melee games have devolved into boring, unwatchable stallfests where the only measure of winning is determined by which Puff player can outcamp the other. A compelling theory until you realize that Hungrybox is the only Puff player in the top 35, and has been for basically the past decade. Even now, entering year 3 of Hungrybox as Melee's top player, Jigglypuff mains are still few and far between. If Puff was truly
you gotta
such
miss.
an
Oh,
unskilled,
Tom Brady's the guy
overpowered
that got
character as
divorced
many of its
because
ardent critics like to
his
claim,
wife
then surely
was
someone,
having an affair
anyone
with a
else
yoga
could have
trainer.
risen to
Oh,
the top
okay.
of the Melee metagame besides HBox. 20FF
Yeah, I don't
theorists
remember.
will often counter this by saying that playing Puff is so boring that hardly anyone is willing to play as the character, even
Really
if they
now?
could vastly improve their tournament results.
Really?
They say this despite the great number of Ice Climbers players who only practice wobbling setups for the sole purpose of cheating
Yeah, look
tournament
at that.
wins. In a competitive
Fun!
game, it's no surprise that
Gameplay!
people will do anything to win.
You play to win the game. You play to win the game.
Hello?
Hello?
And at some
Leffen and Shudat to replay their set at Shine 2017 due to not being in Universal Control Fix. Really?
point, you have to account
Really
for
now,
the fact
Leffen?
that Hungrybox is the only Puff player in the modern era
Yeah,
who has
where
been
is
able to
where are all the other
consistently win.
Puffs then, huh?
That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
You play to win.
You don't play to just play it.
The same critics also like to claim that Puff is as boring to watch as it is to play, and that Melee is hemorrhaging
is it?
viewers for as long as HBox
I mean,
is on top. Even though in 2019,
negative
during
stonks.
Hungrybox's most dominant stretch, peak viewership actually increased across most tournaments.
Yeah,
This
a
is
low
consistent
team
with
needs to
many
make a
other spectator
low tier
sports.
viable.
By and
Come on
large,
now.
Audiences tune in to watch juggernauts. Michael Jordan was possibly the most dominant player
Astronauts,
in NBA
that
history,
jugger.
as he led the Bulls to their 6th championship in 8 seasons. The NBA set their all-time record for television
yes, the Harry
viewership.
Potter.
The next season, after Jordan's retirement, ratings plummeted.
Yes, the Harry Potter paradox. You were told that Harry Potter is supposed to take place in the 90s, yet nobody, not even the British, were not talking about the Bulls' dominant run with Jordan. And I know the cope is, but British people don't really care about American sport. Homie, this shit was worldwide. This was worldwide. I'm pretty sure this was worldwide. I'm pretty sure the Bulls' dominance was worldwide.
The same pattern can be observed in golf, whose ratings are notoriously dependent on whether Tiger Woods is in contention. The trend even holds true in games you wouldn't expect. During James Holzhauer's 22-game Jeopardy winning streak, ratings skyrocketed. Do you think the same number of people tuned in a month afterwards when the show returned to its regular, unremarkable contestants? When people watch stuff, they want stakes. They want to follow a story. They want antagonists to root against. Dominant players are inherently interesting because they fulfill all of these things. But that still doesn't stop a vocal portion of the community from zealously believing that Hungrybox is single-handedly killing Melee.
I'm basically trying to say Hungrybox deserves more credit, and people discredit him because he's been winning for so long.
Hungrybox victories are treated like funerals, while his defeats are celebrated like God's gift to the game. The goal of the game for many is to
the Bulls' dominance was worldwide. It's widely known.
Has a tendency to rally hard against their top players. In Smash 4, the sequel game of Brawl,
Smash 4.
No one was better than Zero. At one point,
and then they found out he diddled kids, and then he got dishonored.
That will likely never be broken by any
I think he's
going to
mention that soon.
His staggering winning streak also spawned an insatiable desire to see him lose. And after 3 years of constant pressure and harassment from the Smash 4 community, Zero lost all passion for the game and retired from competition entirely. Even Armada at his peak faced a...
Not only did he lose and get harassed that way, it was justified because I'm pretty sure that was the same guy that diddled kids. And thus a meme was born. All Smash Bros players are unironics.
Considerable amount of hate in
unironic
Melee,
being
one of the most widely respected players of all time. Even though he also dominated with a pink, floaty defensive character, not many people considered Armada to be a threat to the game itself.
Peach doesn't have an
insta-kill move. Ever came close to the amount of bitterness and vitriol that Hungrybox tolerates on a regular basis. His eternal reward for struggling and clawing to Melee's top rank is to be perhaps the most ostracized top player of any game ever played. At least perennially hated teams like the Patriots can return to their home crowd and be cheered. It doesn't matter where Hungrybox goes today.
Everyone fucking hated HBox.
He can never be applauded
One of my
for
friends
his achievements.
Just hates his guts.
Many in the Melee community say he deserves the hate. In addition to the prevailing
the
belief that he's ruining
comment.
the game, many are quick to express their sheer disgust for HBox as a person.
HBox
Some decry
is a garbage
unwillingness
person.
to play friendlies or mentor other players, as he tends to guard his Jigglypuff gameplay as a trade secret. Others cite instances of his infidelity in past relationships as an indictment against his morals.
Cheated the game.
Most just
Not
accuse
only the
Hungrybox
game,
of
but
being
your
generally rude or egotistical based on interactions from years ago. There's a saying in the Melee community that everyone has an HBox story.
I once this guy who knew this guy who knew this guy.
This one time I saw Hungrybox at a grocery store in Gainesville, but I won't get into that here. The point is that Melee players can usually pull out a laundry list of reasons
like
for
you're
why
doing
they
right now.
detest HBox on a personal level. And for that reason, he gets scrutinized more than any other player in the game. Athletes like Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods each had their own share of personal demons.
And yeah, Tiger Woods having a DUI must be a day ending in Y.
But their respective audiences were both able to look past that and appreciate their accomplishments as competitors. It seems that the Melee community has an all too difficult time applying the same treatment to Hungrybox. They like to assume that everything HBox does has some nefarious, self-serving plan behind it. It got bad enough to where Hungrybox couldn't even look at his watch on stage without facing backlash and drama. It's as if
use a
Melee people
fucking
have such a low
Casio
opinion
then,
of
use a
H-Box
fucking Casio then, my dude.
that they couldn't give him the benefit of the doubt that he may have been running late for a
I'm
flight
just a
and wanted to
monkey.
keep track of the time. It doesn't matter how much he reforms his actions and attitude today. Hungrybox has always
Unforgivable.
been held to his lowest standard, and he's never allowed to overcome his
That's
past
the most
reputation.
damning thing to
Perhaps
say.
the community's
One of the
apparent
most damning
zero
things to
tolerance
say.
policy for rudeness and ego would make a little more sense if they also applied it to Leffen, who publicly disrespects other players, games, and communities on a weekly
Evidence.zip.
basis. Hello. But alas,
Hello?
Leffen, like every other player, gets cheered wildly over Hungrybox. After a while, the whole list of grievances against Juan Hungrybox de Biedma reads like sour grapes, double standards, and empty excuses. At the end of the day, the Melee community stigmatizes H-Box for the same reason they always have. He doesn't fit into their idea of what Melee
He's
should
not
be.
sick.
The mere existence of Hungrybox challenges the fundamental
sick.
identity of the game itself.
Well, these guys are
Melee
sick in the
prides
head.
itself on its fast-paced gameplay, yet its top player uses one of the slowest characters. Melee celebrates its highly skilled technical mechanics, yet its top player uses the character with the most simplistic controls. Melee relies on its risky and aggressive playstyles to wow its spectators, yet its top player plays patiently and defensively. Hungrybox can never be truly respected because Hungrybox isn't Melee. But allow me to explain to you how he is.
But how is Hungrybox Melee,
It's July
you may
9th,
ask?
2013. After raising more than $90,000 for charity, the
Wow!
Melee community punched a ticket for their beloved
Hell
franchise
yeah!
to return to EVO. After 6 long years of waiting, the biggest Melee tournament in history was less than a week away. This
Holy
could be
shit, we're
Melee's
gonna make it on the
break.
big stage!
If the talent can put on a good enough show, Melee may finally be recognized for the brilliant competitive masterpiece it is.
Finally!
With less than
And
3
then we
days
could
to
get
go
a-
before the
we could get a
tournament,
re-release.
Nintendo blocked EVO from streaming Melee, to the absolute shock of the Smash community.
Oh.
Eventually, after a sizable amount of backlash, Nintendo allowed the event to proceed as normal. But the message had been delivered
Thanks,
loud and
Nintendo.
clear. Nintendo would never
Dickheads.
truly respect Smash as a competitive game. No matter how popular competitive Melee got, the community would always be on their
I
own.
fucking hate
It didn't really
copyright.
make much of a difference because that's how it had always been. But in an age where most game developers embrace competitive play by bankrolling huge tournament pots, it's discouraging to realize that Melee will never have that privilege.
Damn, look at all that
2019
Fortnite
saw
money.
a Fortnite player earn $3 million by winning a single tournament. That's nearly
Damn.
10 times the prize money that Hungrybox has won in his entire career. A career in which he consistently placed top 5 at more than a dozen tournaments per year for over a decade.
Yeah, that's the that is the meme. Marvel Rivals players playing for 40K on the line. Nah, let's have fun and have good vibes. While you have freaking Type Lumina players fighting tooth and nail like they're on death's door over a half-eaten Chipotle chicken burrito bowl. It's like a war zone. They're just fighting tooth and nail. They're just cavemen. They're desperate. And all that for what? A $10 chicken burrito bowl that someone already ate half of.
It's sad to think that top Melee players who are so talented
FGC
and draw in so
prize
many
pools,
viewers
everyone.
often have a hard time affording rent from tournament winnings alone. Melee fans love Mango because Mango represents how they see Melee. What many of them don't consider is that Hungrybox represents how the rest of the world sees Melee. Other Smash players often regard Melee players as rude and arrogant, and they actively root against Melee's success. Casual players are often hostile to the idea that Smash is even played competitively at all. Much of the
It's a
Smash
party
fandom can't
game.
even comprehend
Mario
the
Party 5 to
reasoning
be
behind
specific.
turning off items in tournament play. When Melee was removed from the EVO lineup in 2019, many people celebrated,
Good
saying that
riddance.
Melee no longer deserved the spotlight. Lots of people in the general fighting game community believe that Melee never deserved the spotlight it got. The
It's a
Smash
party
Bros.
game,
franchise and Nintendo games in general have been stigmatized as kids' games ever since
Kiddie
they
game
censored
for little
blood in Mortal
babies.
Kombat. Many traditional fighting game players don't respect
One
competitive
plays
Smash for
worse
this
than the
very
other,
reason.
by the
They
way.
can't take a game seriously if it was
It's
never
Genesis
intended for
Mortal
serious
Kombat.
play. Because Smash is a kid-friendly, casual-friendly game, the FGC likes to assume that it's easy.
Retweet to scare Smash players. This is after Terry got announced, by the way.
As long as Smash players don't have to memorize button combinations
Yeah,
with
the
quarter
stupid
circles,
pretzel inputs
that must
for
mean that their
geese.
controls are crude and basic, and that you don't need to put in any real effort to win a Smash
Participation
tournament.
awards.
All this
Easy
sound familiar?
win.
Well, that's because Melee sees Hungrybox how the rest of Smash sees Melee. The fighting game community treats Smash how Melee treats Hungrybox. You may not want to believe it, but Hungrybox is Melee in the most literal sense.
Melee.
Both spent years being told they weren't good enough, that they would never achieve what they would eventually become. Both were constantly disrespected, stigmatized, and ridiculed because they didn't quite fit into what others thought they should be. Both were able to succeed even though everyone else wanted them to fail. Both have a huge chip on their shoulder because no matter what they accomplish, how many challenges they overcome, and how much they prove themselves, they will never get the respect they deserve. In the countless, endless online arguments between the FGC and Smash, Melee fans will always defend their game by saying just because it's different doesn't mean it's easy. Every time this happens, Hungrybox just shakes his head and sighs.
That's a Hungrybox.
It's not easier for Puff or for Falco or for Fox. It's all hard to win.
It's all hard to win.
Just get better.
Get good, scrub. It's hard for everyone.
Hungrybox is Melee. And you know what else?
Is Melee.
Hungrybox is the best in the world. And
He
as
is
much
the
as some
GOAT.
people would tell you otherwise, Melee has never been more interesting.
I mean, come on.
2019 saw
I mean, that
Hungrybox
is
win 12
debatable
of the 20
because
tournaments he entered.
there's a
It also saw a
Yoshi.
Pikachu main and a Captain Falcon main win majors
And now
for
a
the first
Yoshi
time in the
main
history
and a
of the
Yoshi
game.
main.
So despite Melee entering
And
its
a Yoshi
20th year
main now.
competitive play, it
That's
appears to
insane.
be far from a solved game. And that's because despite how many people bought
It's
into
not
20XX,
solved.
Jigglypuff
Again,
is the meta.
Yoshi main.
While the rise of Fox encouraged many players to get increasingly faster and more aggressive, the rise of Hungrybox has forced many of them back to the drawing board. Even though the new era has been tough on Foxes, it has led to the rise of a new generation of players with more patient, strategic playstyles. Players like Zayn, Wizrobe, and Amsa have all demonstrated
There he
the
is,
capacity to
Amsa.
beat Hungrybox without a favorable character
fucking
matchup.
Yoshi
At times,
main.
despite his recent dominance, Hungrybox has never looked more vulnerable,
A Yoshi
frequently losing to players
main.
and characters that he never has before. This is mostly due to how, at
He just
long
really
last,
likes
the rest
Yoshi.
of Melee's competition is finally catching up to the level
That's the
of
thing.
the gods.
Amsa just
In
means
present-day
Yoshi
Melee,
because
the gods are the old generation, and Hungrybox is the last of the gods. Melee is approaching the precipice of an entirely new era, and Hungrybox remains the last stickler of the old days.
the last
In a way,
airbender. I mean, Melee
Hungrybox
God.
carries the torch of all the gods. Newer players will never know the satisfaction of challenging a Prime Mango, Armada, or PPMD. For them, facing Hungrybox is the next best thing. He represents one of the few remaining links between old and new Melee, and as much as some Melee fans would like to forget, he's an integral part of the game's history and legacy. Hungrybox, like Melee, is still going strong all these years later. In 2018, Nintendo released the 5th installment to the Smash franchise with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So far, it has been the first Smash title to successfully appeal to both sides of the competitive community, with
And
players like
then
Armada,
Steve
Leffen, and even
happened.
Hungrybox frequenting
And then
Ultimate
Steve
events.
happened. Time is
However,
a
despite
flat
the popularity
circle.
of Ultimate, Melee still consistently surpasses it in viewership. Even in its advanced age, Melee is
Birthday.
the future, and shows no
Melee
signs of
is
dying
the
off
future.
anytime soon. There will come a day when Hungrybox
Melee
stops playing
is
Melee,
the future.
and in
Once
its
this shit
absence,
hits
the game
NSO,
will
it's gonna
become
hit
that much
crack.
less interesting as a result.
It's gonna hit crack.
And now, at long
It's gonna be like
last,
crack.
we return to the crab. Perhaps
It's
the most
gonna hit like
enduring
crack
symbol of Melee's
in the
relationship with
80s.
Hungrybox. Crab
in
mentality refers to
downtrodden
the unwillingness of
America.
a community to let its individuals succeed. It's based on the behavior of crabs in a bucket, who will often prevent
Oh,
their
no, you
peers from
don't.
escaping by pulling them back from the brink of freedom, thus dooming them all. If Melee is to survive in the future, they'll have to learn to tolerate their top player. By trying to destroy HBox, they're only destroying themselves.
You aren't killing
Because
the
at the
Melee.
end of the day, Hungrybox
the
is Juan
community
to Biedma.
is.
Despite playing for the past decade with the status of
I
God,
got discombobulated
he's
for a
only
moment.
It is my personal belief
He's only
that
human
human beings
after
are
all.
naturally meant to persevere.
Don't put the blame
no matter
on
what
him.
happens, as long as we simply make the decision not to give up, it simply does get better if you believe it will. there's certain experiences that even thinking about, even the act of thinking about it, sets you back, maybe all the way back to all the work you've done just by thinking about it. But that's not the point. The point is you need to focus on the fact that you overcame it. And if you're going through it, focus on the fact that you are choosing to overcome it. You're pushing through. And that's more than anyone can ask of you.
Will HBox ever overcome the hate? That remains to be seen, but until that happens, he will always have a reason to keep fighting. To overcome perhaps his greatest challenge yet. And if there's one thing the Melee community has learned over the years, it's to never count out Hungrybox, the one player in Melee who spent his entire career doing stuff that couldn't be done.
I said I'll be top 5 jigs in Florida, I'll be best jigs in Florida, I'll be top 3 in Florida, I'll be the best player in Florida. One day I'll be the best player on the East Coast, maybe, who knows, one day I'll be the best player in the world.
And he is.
Just how did Hungrybox get so good? The truth is that Hungrybox became the best in the world not because he learned how to win, but because he learned how to lose. So yeah, he may get upset by unranked Albert or 4-stock by Zane or 6-0 by Leffen, but after every defeat, you can count on HBox to pick up the pieces, come back later, and win. Hopefully one day Melee will learn to appreciate Hungrybox while they still can, because there will never ever be another player like him.
Looking forward to the decomp. Either the decomp or the NSO port, or perhaps both. Or perhaps both. Both would be nice. Both would be very nice. Dr. PP, PPMD. Nice.
Never Ever is made possible due to contributions from viewers like you.
Nice. This man went through a villain arc, a training arc, and a redemption arc all in one. He is the main character for sure. How am I supposed to convince my girlfriend this shit is serious when you have Dr. PP as one of the 5 gods? That's really funny. I think most of the comments are just Dr. PP. That's funny. We would need a part 2. Everything that has happened since this video is insane. His rise in popularity, becoming the face of Smash streaming, the records he broke, the way he stopped winning majors in a new era of Melee, the ultimate detox, and to end it all, his victory at Genesis. Hot damn. That would be a pretty banger, but hey. Sequel? I mean, never say never. But don't hold your breath.